Hey guys, it's me Nes, and we're going to react to 30 WWE Royal Rumble facts that sound fake but are 100% true. These are the rare instances where, at one point, we think about the Royal Rumble of how many seconds, minutes, or maybe hours does a wrestler be part of the Royal Rumble. And there's a lot of records, like for example, Rey Mysterio at one point, who's been in Royal Rumble for 62 minutes and 12 seconds, if I'm not mistaken, back then. But right now, that record was been broken by Gunther during the time when that was, if I'm not mistaken, 2023 Royal Rumble. And you could argue that there are a lot of records that at one point they are facts. Like for example, that back then, if you got the number 27, you are considered to be lucky because majority of the winners are in number 27 throughout the years. Recently, we got the number 30 spot where it is considered to be the most lucky because you're the last person to come out. And throughout the years, only, if I'm not mistaken, three winners from, if I not sure if there's also from women's that they the women's that had a number 30 winner, because if I remember correctly, it was Undertaker, John Cena, and then recently Cody Rhodes for the men's side. But the thing is about the Royal Rumble, it is one of those things that you could argue it is impossible for someone to get eliminated in 1 second, which is a fact. Because back then, Santino Marella holds the record for being eliminated for 1 second back in 2009's Royal Rumble. The most elimination before it was Kane during that, if I'm not mistaken, 2001 Royal Rumble, where he used all those foreign objects that attack every single individuals for knowing that the Royal Rumble is no DQ. And then recently, well, there's Brock Lesnar back in 2020 where he eliminated around like 13 of them or more. But regardless, we will get to those facts and to see other facts that we haven't known or what we don't know at the same time to think that is it really true or is it sounded fake. But regardless, give it a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications, and at the same time, subscribe to WrestleMania as well. So let's get to the video.
30 WWE Royal Rumble facts that sound fake but are actually 100% true. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on WrestleMania XL. Number 30 almost holds this obscure record. The 2021 Royal Rumble saw Almost eliminate Rey Mysterio and Big E. Sounds normal, right? Well, the issue with this is that Almost was never in the match. He was just at ringside to support AJ Styles. This means that the Nigerian giant holds the official record for the most eliminations from someone who was never booked in the 30-man matchup. Now, there was some debate at the time whether these counted as official eliminations. WWE have been flexible on the idea of a wrestler being eliminated by someone not in the match, or even someone that's already been eliminated, such as the 1996 Royal Rumble where Vader created chaos after he was eliminated. However, it appears that WWE have changed the rules based on the story that they're trying to present. Number 29, Jack Swagger's unfortunate record. A former world champion, Jack Swagger, holds an unfortunate record in the annual Royal Rumble match. Despite being in 6 Rumble matches across his WWE tenure, Swagger has never been able to eliminate a single wrestler. Now, this unfortunate record is also shared by Matt Bloom, whose various gimmicks ranging from Albert to Lord Tensai were unable to reward him with a single elimination. Now, this is a rather unique record, as it's hard for wrestlers to appear in that many Rumbles and do virtually nothing. If it was going to happen, then logic would suggest it would be an outright jobber who was never able to obtain elimination. So it comes as a surprise that this record goes to a former world champion and a WWE veteran.
Does anybody remember Jack Swagger's reign as world heavyweight champion back in 2010? Not gonna lie, they were, how would I say this? Vince McMahon really pushed this guy, and yeah, the thing is this, right? Jake Hager, if I'm not, mistaken with this word, or the thing is about him, he did whatever he could. It's just that, it's hard to make him as the guy that at one point, they're trying their best to build this guy, but I guess the crowd wasn't into it a little bit until he moved to a different promotion. But, things became alright for him. And the thing is this. It's kind of a bit sad that you entered the Royal Rumble and you didn't do anything. No eliminations at all. Especially for him, he is a former world champion. So imagine this, right? And I know this is a worst take. Imagine if someone wins the Royal Rumble without eliminating someone. That is one of the most impossible feat. And I know that there is no one, or I'm sure no one's gonna book that match or book someone, sorry. Not everyone is going to be booked in that situation where you're not gonna get eliminated by someone, which is like, there's no way. Unless if you're gonna eliminate it immediately, which is like, okay, that's the direction. But regardless of the situation, I feel like, hopefully wrestlers will never get have any elimination. Just give some to do something in the Rumble rather than just be there and then get eliminated immediately. That is literally a rough way to have a fact that you never eliminated someone, which is crazy.
Number 28, only two wrestlers competed in Rumbles in 4 different decades. Now, Shawn Michaels and Hacksaw Jim Duggan have 2 things in common. Both of them are former Royal Rumble winners, with HBK winning the 1995 and 1996 respectively, and Duggan of course winning the inaugural Royal Rumble back in 1988. But that's not the only thing these two share, as the two legends are the only two wrestlers to compete in the Rumble in 4 different decades, with those decades being the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and 2010s. This record was solidified when Duggan made a surprise cameo in the 2012 Rumble, receiving one of the biggest pops of the night in the process. Number 27, WWE produced unofficial Royal Rumble matches. Now, over the years, WWE have produced numerous Royal Rumble matches that didn't actually take place at the actual pay-per-view itself. These usually take place on television, such as Raw or SmackDown, and even sometimes at WWE live events. In the middle of January in 1994, WWE decided to give fans a huge treat by giving them a 30-man Rumble match. The match would actually be won by the late great Owen Hart. Now, additionally, there was a tag team rumble on the 15th June 1998 episode of Raw. The match would end up being won by the oddball tag team of Kane and Mankind. On the January 11th, 1999, a corporate rumble involving the members of the corporation and DX held to determine the 30th entrant in the annual Royal Rumble. The match was won by Chyna, who last eliminated Vince McMahon. 2 Royal Rumbles occurred on SmackDown in the year of 2004. The first was a 4-man Rumble, which saw Chris Benoit take on the FBI, and the second was a 15-man Rumble, which was won by Eddie Guerrero, who would go on to wrestle and defeat Brock Lesnar at the 2004 No Way Out pay-per-view. In early 2008, WWE had one of the most unusual Rumble matches to date, as Vince McMahon organized a mini-Rumble involving midget wrestlers. Hornswoggle would go on to win the match in a style of Rumble that is unlikely to ever be replicated. But perhaps one of the most famous Rumble matches, due to it being in the PG era, took place in 2011. A Royal Rumble aired to crown a new #1 contender for the Miz's WWE title, and the match would end up being won by Jerry the King Lawler, and Lawler would end up facing the Miz for the title at Elimination Chamber. Number 26, the first ever.
That's kind of crazy though. Like, majority we see a lot of people that say it's about Royal, but others, I guess, a Royal Rumble in some cases where you'll get a #1 opportunity or winning a championship. That's not even in a pay-per-view, and it depends on how they book the matches. But that was during the time when Vince McMahon was in control. And yeah, they're still like that, even if it's no longer in WWE. But we don't know if that is the case, because those type of matches that he did, it's like, okay, it's good on trying to, I guess, to promote the matches of crowning a new world champion, or to have a #1 contender spot, where to give others a chance to be part of the spotlight or do something for the time being when they're on the road. And I guess this is the only time that we could say that yes, it happened a lot. Regardless if it's Battle Royal or Royal Rumble, it's still the same thing.
Rumble. Now, whilst in terms of WWE lore, the first Rumble was in 1988, the concept actually debuted the year prior. The very first Rumble took place at a live event in St. Louis in 1987, and the match featured only 12 men and was won by one-man gang, who would go on to challenge Hulk Hogan for the WWE title in a losing effort. And the reception to the match must have been positive, and it would no doubt play a major factor in WWE introducing the concept as a pay-per-view event. In fact, the creator itself of the Royal Rumble, Pat Patterson, wanted to award the winner of the Royal Rumble a Patterson Cup, similarly to the Stanley Cup in ice hockey.
Wait, what?
Whilst the winner didn't get anything at all in the early Royal Rumbles, a WWE Championship match would then be awarded to the winner at WrestleMania.
Yes.
Number 25,
The thing is about Patrick Patterson, he made the right, idea to add something in wrestling that is gonna change forever. And when you think about it, like, it's kind of odd that he made a suggestion for a Pat Patterson Cup, but instead it would be better whoever wins the event would move on to WrestleMania to get a championship guarantee, and that is the best way to make the decision that whoever wins the Rumble goes on WrestleMania, be part of the main event to defend which championship that that person is going to choose, and the rest was history. Like in other companies as well, they've been doing battle royals or a bit of the Royal Rumble type, not similar to what WWE style, because there's some other similar matches but has some different ways of winning, like the TNA stuff that I don't know what was the match. It's like you enter the ring and then you got what you get tossed over, I think, or something like that. I don't know what that was, but regardless, because of his idea, Pat Patterson's idea, it became history. You know that as we see right now, that the Royal Rumble is one of the big four events in WWE, and as we move to this Royal Rumble, the evolution that it was from a few man in the Rumble in the first ever to where we are right now. There were some parts what during the 2011 that the Royal Rumble was a 40 man, and then in the Saudi show we got like the greatest Royal Rumble, which it's understandable how they book it, but sticking to the 30 man matters most. And now we got the 30 women as well, which is great. And so far so good. Like the Royal Rumble has never had any type of changes, but there are questionable winners and some are deserving winners for sure.
The actual first person to point at the WrestleMania sign was... Now, there's a lot of false information
Mm.
surrounding the wrestler who was the first one to point at the WrestleMania sign. In 2007, The Undertaker was the first man to point at the sign,
Mm.
but he did this at the No Way Out pay-per-view as opposed to the Royal Rumble. In 2008, John Cena pointed at the sign following his win, and this actually started the trend that WWE maintains to this day.
Yep.
Therefore, it was actually John Cena who was the first man to officially point at the sign following the Rumble match itself. Number 24, these two wrestlers have never faced each other 1v1. And one of the main story threads in the 2006
Okay.
Royal Rumble was
Yeah.
the action between Rey Mysterio and Triple H. The game would enter at number 1, and Mysterio would enter at number 2, and the two wrestled on and off for an hour. These two legends had incredible chemistry, and after the match, there were calls for WWE to move forward with a feud between the two. Unfortunately, this never happened, and the two never had a 1v1 showdown in WWE. Speaking of Lad Bible, the game referenced the fact that he never worked directly with Rey Mysterio. I always wanted to work with Rey Mysterio, but I think I've been in the ring with him like twice my entire career. There's certain guys like that I always would watch them work and be like, oh, I'm such a fan of his work. And I could just feel what working with him would be like and how easy that would be and how big we could make it. Triple H versus Mysterio would have been a blockbuster feud, and it's a damn shame that it never occurred in WWE. Number 23,
It's crazy though because Triple H was part of Raw mostly during the Ruthless Aggression era, and Ray was in SmackDown. So it would make sense that they wouldn't go one on one. But the thing is that it would be some type of a good storyline between those two, because of course like Triple H is good as a heel and Ray as the ultimate babyface. So it's like regardless of the situation, it was really those type of things that, man, we never get this a chance, and it's all right. Like it just happened, in life and wrestling in general, that most of dream matches or things that we want to see never gets the chance, and some of those things it just really happened for a reason that you could argue that Ray and Triple H never at least face to face, but that's all right. It just happens.
most wrestlers to eliminate one wrestler is... And Viscera made yet another appearance in the 2007 Royal Rumble, and his appearance was notable as it took a total of 9 men to eliminate the
Damn.
super heavyweight from the match. Now, the spot itself received a huge pop from the crowd, and although spots of this nature aren't uncommon, this was definitely one of the better ways that WWE have booked this spot. Number 22, Randy Orton spent almost...
I thought the Great Khali was one of those guys that, to be honest, like the most biggest wrestlers, the most tallest, or you could argue because Viscera was the biggest one, but the fact that it took all those men to eliminate him, like damn, that's kind of bit like one of those things that every big man's fear, because Big Show, Great Khali, Mark Henry, and etc. All those big guys get eliminated because of multiple men that work together, and so far so good. Like right now, if we see that again, well, it just happened. It's like that deja vu type of thing that every big man gets eliminated because it's so simple. it's very obvious because a lot of men are working and to eliminate the biggest threat of the match.
Almost an hour in the match and didn't eliminate a single wrestler. Now, the 2021 Royal Rumble took
Damn.
place during the COVID-19 pandemic. Due to this, WWE presented their show in front of zero physical fans. Despite this, both men's and women's Rumbles received great reviews, and
Yeah.
WWE and their talent did an outstanding job under unique and difficult circumstances. The men's Rumble was interesting though, as Randy Orton managed to spend almost an hour in the match, at 58 minutes and 30 seconds to be precise, but he didn't eliminate a single wrestler. WWE would book an injury angle during the first portion of the match, which seemingly took Orton out of action. In the final moments, Orton would make a heroic return, only to be eliminated by the eventual winner, Edge. Now, if this occurred in front of a live crowd, then the fans would have eaten this up, as it was a fantastic idea for a Rumble spot. Number 21, the Great Khali has the worst Rumble record. A logic would suggest that the Great Khali would have a stellar Royal Rumble track record. However, that simply isn't the case. The former world champion has appeared in 9 Royal Rumbles in total, and shockingly, Khali has been in the match for 20 minutes and 47 seconds. This, of course, averages out horrendously for Khali, making him one of the worst Rumble competitors of all time from an
20
endurance
minutes and
perspective.
47
With that being said,
It's
Khali has a
like, what
total of 11 eliminations, having eliminated legends such as CM Punk, Rob Van Dam, and Bray Wyatt. Number 20, the true gold standard.
God
Now,
damn.
Shelton Benjamin was always a great pick for a Royal Rumble, as Benjamin could be incorporated into exciting spots throughout the duration of the match. Now, an interesting fact about Benjamin is that he became the first man to compete at 3 different Rumbles for 3 different brands. Those brands being Raw, SmackDown, and ECW. The former Intercontinental Champion also became the first man to be eliminated by the same individual in 3 consecutive Rumble matches. In 2006,
hell
2007, and 2008, Benjamin was eliminated by
You
Mr.
gotta be
WrestleMania
kidding me.
himself, Shawn Michaels. Number 19,
Damn,
the
man.
2020
That's
Royal
sad.
Rumble had the highest percentage of winners. And the 2020 Men's Royal Rumble received widespread acclaim. The match was seen as one of the greatest Rumble matches in WWE history, and there's an interesting fact about the names involved in the match itself. This Rumble had the highest percentage of future or former winners in the match. These names were Braun Strowman, if counting the greatest Royal Rumble, Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre, Edge, Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Shinsuke Nakamura. These names made up for a staggering total of 30% of the field. Number 18, the 2015 Royal Rumble only had one future former winner. And unlike the 2020 Royal Rumble, the 2015 Rumble was hated by fans.
Yeah.
WWE placed a spotlight on Roman Reigns only for the fans to outright reject WWE's backwards booking. Now, an unknown fact about the 2000
Yeah, because I think people wanted Daniel Bryan to win the Rumble because what happened in 2014, it was considered to be one of Vince's decision that is like, man, that was the wrong decision he made in 2014. Leading up to 2015, it's the same thing because you're in a Philadelphia crowd where people start booing the fact that Roman is getting this special treatment at that time to win the Rumble by the help of his cousin, of course, The Rock, the final boss. And regardless of the situation, you can't just, you know, I would say not continue with the decision to let Roman win. And the fact that you don't put, I think Daniel Bryan didn't appear in the Royal Rumble, it's like, man, that was a missed opportunity. Because if you let him win, let's just say, like, if you let Daniel Bryan win in 2014, that would be poetic. Like, people would be happy. But since you don't do that, okay, 2015, would you do it? And what did WWE do? Especially the old management or Vince McMahon in general. He didn't want to let Daniel Bryan get that, or he doesn't want the crowd to be happy because they're focusing on their guy, which is Roman Reigns, which at the time was the big dog, not the tribal chief. So of course it was really difficult to watch that show when you know people are booing the hell out of Roman at the time. So again, like, I don't understand why, but if that's the direction, if they think, oh, no matter how much boo, they're gonna cheer you regardless, nothing will change. And throughout the years before he became the tribal chief, it, people still booed the hell out of him. Besides, or except for the moment that he readmissioned himself from beating uh, blood cancer, if that was the case, or what they call that, leukemia. But regardless, yeah, feel bad that Daniel Bryan was this, that people's favorite, and then for some reason Vince was like, yeah, it doesn't matter. I just wanted to let my guy be over, and that's how it is.
2015 field is that it only had one future or former winner, and that was the eventual winner, Roman Reigns. The match featured elite names such as Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan, but neither of these names have ever been victorious in the Rumble itself.
Okay, my apologies. Like he did appear in the match, but didn't win the match, which is like damn, that's kind of sad. But again, that's how it is. If Vince is like you're hella popular, you're not gonna become over no matter what, organically or by fans. They don't care, you know. Like management or Vince is just thinking himself that the right guy for him is the one who's going to lead the company for sure.
Number 17, The Big Show has never been eliminated by a group. Now, even though wrestlers in the Royal Rumble teaming up to eliminate larger wrestlers is a common spot, one wrestler who's always avoided this is wrestling legend The Big Show. Whenever Big Show was eliminated from the annual matchup, it would only be by one individual. Interestingly, this means that the former WWE champion is the only 7-foot-tall wrestler to compete in several Rumble matches and never be eliminated by a group of wrestlers. It's unclear why WWE booked Show in this manner, but it was likely that they believed that having one wrestler eliminate him would put the spotlight on them directly, whereas it's hard to make anyone shine when it comes to a group elimination. Number 16.
Yeah. For example, because for Cesaro and Big Show are the final two, I think it would make sense because Big Show is one of those big guys that you know he's a threat compared to other big guys like the Great Khali, knowing that he has a bad record, and other big men. And the thing is that what WWE did is the right choice. Instead of all big men gotta get eliminated by a group, there's a specific big man like Big Show is going to get eliminated by just one person, or depends on how they, book in terms of two against one or maybe just one on one. And they made the right choice to make Big Show get eliminated by a single person more than a group.
Triple H and the number 8. At the 2010 Royal Rumble saw Triple H enter his 8th Royal Rumble, and to mark the occasion, the game would enter the match at number 8. Another crazy fact is that the March marked 8 years since Triple H had last won the Rumble, that being the 2002 Rumble. The number 8 is synonymous with Triple H, as H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. The 2010 Rumble appearance at the game wasn't one he'll fondly remember, as he lasted 18 minutes before he was shockingly eliminated by his DX teammate, Shawn Michaels.
Damn.
If only he had just lasted 8 minutes, this would have made it more of a coincidence. Number 15.
That's kind of a scary coincidence there. But again, like maybe he maybe Triple H is like, you know what? Maybe number 8 is the number, and of course, it takes time to master that type of number. When you know that if it did happen, like 8 minutes, and he get it, that goes to show that it's kind of a coincidental moment right there. But it's just. Maybe it's just, his way of, what, I prefer 8 and I would go with 8 no matter what. But that's for Triple H, who knows?
The OVW Big Four. The OVW Big Four consisted of John Cena, Randy Orton, Batista, and Brock Lesnar. These names were brought into the WWE's developmental territory at around the same time, and the 4 names would go on to become some of the most popular and successful names to ever lace up a pair of boots in the WWE ring. But in relation to the Royal Rumble, these names stand out, as all of the original OVW Big Four have each won not 1, but 2 Royal Rumble matches. To break it down into specific Rumbles, Cena won the 2008 and 2013 Rumble, Orton won the 2009 and 2017 Rumble, Batista won the 2005 and 2014 Rumble, and finally, Lesnar won the 2003 and 2022 Rumble.
Crazy.
Number 14.
That's crazy though. Like 4 of those biggest stars winning double Royal Rumble, it's like damn. But that's how it is. Maybe it's one of those things that okay, because at the time Vince was still running the show, so it's like, all right, give him another win makes sense, and based on their booking decision. So it's like those are one of those things that it's so surprising that 4 of those guys to be part OBW and then now winning the Rumble at the same time, like twice. That was insane.
The 2016 Royal Rumble has an AEW connection. But WWE decided to deliver something completely different for the 2016 Rumble. They would decide to have the match for Roman Reigns' WWE title, and this gave the match a fresh lease of life, especially after several years of total duds. But the match has a key AEW connection, as a whopping 1/3 of the wrestlers in the matchup will go on to sign with AEW over the next few years. These names include Rusev, Chris Jericho, Goldust, Luke Harper, Cody Rhodes, Big Show, Neville, Dean Ambrose, Mark Henry, and Jack Swagger. Number 13, 2024, and the Aussie Curse. That wasn't a good day to be an Australian pro wrestler in the 2024 Royal Rumble. In both men's and women's matches, both of the first names eliminated were Australian-born wrestlers. In the
No.
men's, the first name eliminated was Grayson
Yeah.
Waller, who was eliminated by Carmelo Hayes. In relation to the women's rumble, the first name
Indy
eliminated was
Hartwell.
Indy Hartwell, who
Yeah.
would be eliminated by Bailey. Number 12, you can get
Damn.
disqualified in the rumble itself. One of the Royal Rumble stipulations that WWE have never truly explained is whether a wrestler can be disqualified. The match has seen numerous weapons being used, including in 2001, where an entire section of the match was dedicated to hardcore antics.
Damn.
Whenever weapons were used in the match over the
Yeah.
years, it was just assumed that the match was a no DQ encounter.
Yeah.
However, in 2008, WWE seemingly changed this rule as Finlay was disqualified from the Rumble matchup. Finlay would enter the match before his allocated slot to attack Mark Henry and Big Daddy V, and because Finlay did this and used a weapon, he was disqualified from the match. It appears that wrestlers are allowed to use weapons if they enter at their allocated number. However, any early involvement in the in-ring action could potentially result in disqualification. Now, this rule must have been established in 2008, as a few years prior in 2003, Christian was involved in Chris Jericho's scheme to distract Shawn Michaels earlier on in the match, and Christian was still allowed to re-enter the match when his time came. Although Christian didn't physically enter the ring, he was still involved in the match in some capacity, so the rules remain complex and unclear. Number 11,
That
Roman
was
Reigns
weird.
holds
Not
this
gonna
Rumble
lie.
record. Roman Reigns is a notable Royal Rumble match performer, and the record that Reigns currently holds is that he has the record for being the last man eliminated the most times with 4. The years that Reigns was the
Yeah.
second to last man standing were 2014, 2017, 2018, and finally 2020. It's likely that these numbers would be even higher if it wasn't the case that in subsequent years following 2020, Reigns was usually defending his world title, so his services weren't required for the Rumble itself. Number 10,
It's one of those things that, yeah, Ben's really is high on Roman, but I don't know, making him final two most of the time is like, that's kind of a bit overbooked. I feel like there are other wrestlers that deserve to be the final two, but I understand he was the face, but I don't think it's really that necessary. And it's odd because the direction is like, okay, he's the final two, but gets eliminated 4 times. And those are the chances where, okay, he lost every 50-50 to win. So it's like, okay, when is the right time for him to win? And there were a lot of rumors that, okay, at the time that during the 2020 Royal Rumble, that was Drew McIntyre winning. People were saying that Roman is going to win the Rumble, which is a good thing he didn't win because that would be a disaster. Because knowing that Drew is going to become the winner and becomes the ultimate babyface to beat Brock was the ultimate um let's just say it was a surprise because we didn't know he's gonna win. He was at the time a heel, but they were slowing building him up to be a babyface, and it was sad that he didn't get his moment at WrestleMania 36. But that is one of those things that, yeah, they made the right decision, and knowing that, okay, instead of Roman winning 4 times in a row, let him lose, and then after that, 2020 comes around, become the Universal Champion, and he dominated for the next 4 years. It's one of those things that, yeah, it was alright for not making him win just another one because it wouldn't even make sense. But good thing that they stick to it, that they pick other winners or they pick the people who deserve to win that match. But some, you could argue there are a lot of people that deserve to be part of the final two instead of him.
the match can be restarted. Now imagine a Royal Rumble where the match is restarted from the very beginning. We've seen the match restart from the final two back in 2005, but according to WWE's official rules released in 2012, it is possible that WWE can restart the match. While it's proven to be a rare occurrence, being an unclear winner at the end, there's no doubt that this kind of scenario creates a lot of confusion and leaves one superstar thinking he may have been robbed of a victory. What better way to assure even odds and keep the WWE universe on its toes than make the final two participants fight 28 other superstars over again? After all, who wouldn't want to witness double the Royal Rumble match madness in one night? Now that's people power. Now this would
Yeah.
unlikely ever happen in WWE.
I don't think that's gonna happen. Like it's like, it's understandable that that is the direction that people wanted, but I feel like WWE knows that the timing needs to be, executed properly. I don't think that they need to overbook in that way, or because some people prefer, oh, restart the Rumble, like get every 30 men or women to fight again and then declare who's winning. That's kind of a bit overbooked because it's like the Rumble takes an hour and depends on the show. I feel like they should not do that. And the moment that they did those kind of things back in 2005, the botch elimination for Cena and Batista, it was the right choice for two of those final two to settle. And then the moment that Cena got eliminated by Batista was the ultimate choice. Regardless of the old Royal Rumble where two um, men became runner-ups like Bret Hart and Lex Luger. Regardless of the situation, they gave those guys as the draw or basically double winners. That happened to Cena Batista. But now since they gave the rule, okay, if they ever done that again, hoping they can go one on one and then whoever gets eliminated, the one who stands in the ring is the winner. Just like happened in 2005.
WWE due to it being a logistical nightmare. Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
interesting established rule that not a lot of fans know about. Number 9, the 2023 Men's Rumble holds this distinction. The 2023 Men's Royal Rumble was the first time in WWE history that the match had ended with number 1 and 30 battling it out. Gunther would enter the match at number 1, whilst eventual winner Cody Rhodes would enter the match at number 30. The two would have a mini match of sorts at the end of the match, and following Rhodes' win, there were calls from fans to see the two have a featured feud down the line, which they did in 2024. Another fact about the 2023 Men's Rumble is that it's the longest 30-man Rumble in company history. The match came in with a runtime of 1 hour and 11 minutes, and the two Rumbles that had the 40 and 50 men also had extended runtimes due to the extra bodies, with the 40-man Rumble in 2011 lasting 1 hour and 10 minutes, and the 50-man Rumble that took place in 2018 at the Greatest Royal Rumble managing to last a staggering 1 hour and 17 minutes. Number 8, 2023 and 2024, and married couples. Now there's a unique and no doubt deliberate when it comes to the 2023 and 2024 Rumble. 2023 marked the first time in which Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, who are a happily married couple, entered their respective Rumble at the same number, that being number 15. The following year, WWE would repeat this time with both Jimmy Uso and Naomi drawing number 2. WWE traditionally put a ton of effort into mapping out the entrance order. This is definitely an Easter egg for fans of Rumble statistics and records. Number 7, Rhea Ripley and Hulk Hogan have this in common. Hulk Hogan and Rhea Ripley are the most threatening Royal Rumble entrants in history. Hogan has an elimination record of almost 7 per Rumble appearance, whereas Ripley has a total of 5 eliminations on average. But due to Hogan's star power and prior status as the face of the company, it was an expectation that he would be given the spotlight whenever he made a Rumble appearance. As for Ripley, she's a name that's always been able to shine inside the Rumble match, and this track record is only likely to improve as the years go on. Number 6, the wrestler with the longest time between the Rumble is... At the 2009 Royal Rumble, Hacksaw Jim Duggan set the record for the longest time between Rumbles with 17 years between Rumble appearances. Prior to 2009, Duggan's last appearance came in 1992, and Duggan's appearance was a welcome addition to the 2009 Rumble as it received a huge pop. It's highly unlikely that this record is ever beaten, yet stranger things have happened in WWE. Number 5, wrestlers can legally steal a spot. One of the rules that has confused fans since the inception of the Royal Rumble concept is the idea that wrestlers can basically steal a fellow wrestler's place in the match, and respective general managers and authority figures won't have an issue with it. Numerous instances of this have occurred over the years, notably in 1999 when Headbanger Marsh was about to make his entrance, he was attacked backstage by a returning Mabel. Mabel then simply walked out of the backstage area to the ring, and WWE even played his theme, thus implying that he was legally allowed to enter. A similar incident occurred in 2004 when Test was laid out backstage by Mick Foley. This time, Stone Cold Steve Austin directly ordered Foley to get into the ring and replace Test, and this seemed to imply that it's a condition that the attacker must replace the individual that they had attacked. Almost identical rules apply when it comes to stolen numbers, as in 2005, Kurt Angle simply stole Nuncio's number backstage. From a kayfabe perspective, it's a surprise that this doesn't happen more. With that being said, it's a storyline element that could get stale extremely quickly if it occurred every year. Number 4, the 2019 Royal Rumble is the last Rumble where, well, the 2019 Men's Royal Rumble was won by Seth Rollins, and the match is now known for being the final Rumble where everyone in the match is actually still alive. The 2018 Rumble was previously known for this, but that was until the tragic passing of the legendary Bray Wyatt. Number 3, an active WCW champion.
Sheesh, man. First of all, rest in peace to Bray Wyatt. But damn, that's kind of a bit like, that was chilling when you hear that. But damn. But anyway, we will move on from that.
Into the 2001 Rumble. Now, the 2001 Royal Rumble is considered by many to be the greatest Royal Rumble of all time. The Rumble from top to bottom is booked to perfection, and this was the case in WWE truly mastering how to deliver a Rumble match for the ages. The match also featured a surprise return as Haku made a return to the company despite being active on WCW television, and he was even their reigning WCW Hardcore Champion. Now, this summed up the state of WCW at the time, as Haku won the title with his main character just a week before the Rumble, so WCW management clearly had no idea what was going on. Number 2, Chavo Guerrero was the first world champion to do this. When WWE relaunched the ECW brand in 2006, they were quick to label and market the ECW title as a world title, just like the WWE and world title on Raw and SmackDown. Unfortunately, just 18 months into this relaunch, it was almost as if WWE lost interest in presenting the ECW title as a title that was on par to the other two world titles, and this was made clear with the 2008 Rumble. Entrant number 26 in their 2008 Rumble was Chavo Guerrero, and Guerrero at the time was the reigning ECW champ. It was labeled on commentary that Guerrero would have a chance to challenge for a world title if he won the Rumble, and this officially meant that the ECW world title was no longer considered to be a world title in the company, despite it still being labeled as such on ECW commentary. And if you made it...
Damn, that's so dirty. The fact that Vince didn't at least understand that you have a third brand. And it's understandable that it wouldn't last because the beginning of the PG era and making that ECW brand going, you know, from revitalizing to become where they are right now, like going downhill, it's like, man, that's really one of those things that Vince, it's like WWE is the only company that's number one, and that's how it is. But I feel bad for everyone who witness or expect that ECW is going to be back, but no, it really doesn't, to be honest. The moment that Vince had ECW, you expect that what he done for WCW, that he bought, is the same thing that he's going to do for ECW. And that's kind of a bit sad.
this far, give the video a thumbs up, as number 1, second time's the charm. Our
Mm.
four iconic WWE names, Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Cody Rhodes, all have something in common when it comes to the Royal Rumble. All four names won back-to-back Rumbles, and every one of them lost their first WrestleMania matchup following the Rumble win. Amazingly, the year after, when all four men won the Rumble again, this time they would be successful in their respective WrestleMania matchup. The first Rumble that Hogan would win was in 1990, and at WrestleMania 6, he would be defeated by the Ultimate Warrior in the show's main event. The following year, Hogan would once again win the annual matchup, and this time he successfully defeated Sergeant Slaughter in the main event of WrestleMania 7. And it's worth noting that this wasn't until 1993 that the concept of the Rumble winner challenging for the WWE title at WrestleMania was even established. But then in 1995, Shawn Michaels would win the Rumble, only to come up short against Diesel at WrestleMania 11. The following year, HBK would win his match at WrestleMania 12, and he would defeat Bret Hart in a legendary Iron Man matchup. When it comes to Austin, he would win the 97 Royal Rumble, and due to the controversy relating to his win, he wouldn't end up challenging for the WWE title at WrestleMania 13. Instead, Austin would face Bret Hart in a losing effort in what is considered to be one of the most revered matches of all time. But then the following year at WrestleMania 14, Austin would usher in the Attitude Era by defeating HBK to become WWE Champion. And in relation to Rhodes, he won the 2023 Rumble, only to lose to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 39. The following year, Rhodes would win again, and in an epic rematch, he would finally dethrone Reigns at WrestleMania 40 to finish his story. But there you have it, folks. 30 WWE Royal Rumble.
Well, coincidence between that type of all four who soon to become the faces of the company. Like, that's surprising. But all I can say, this is the video, guys, and I wanted to say give it a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notification, and I will say thank you for watching, and we will see each other in the next video. Peace.